Yeah, please let me know once you would see it. Yeah, now let's go to sales process and sales document. Till now we have covered the master data, org structure and all. Now we'll go to the config part and all, and we'll see what is sales document and all. We will see. So now sales document, generally we use the sales document means basically the inquiry, quotation, contract, okay, schedule agreement. All this we call it what do you call a sales document only in general. But specifically, if you have to go, then you need to say mention what is means the sales order VA01, inquiry VA11, quotation VA21. So most of the time when we say sales document, that means we are talking about sales order only mostly. Okay. Now your sales order will contain different data, and if you have to divide those data or the structure of a sales document, it is divided into three parts. First is header, then item, then schedule line. Let me log into SAP also. So now what is header? Header means those kind of information which are applicable to the whole document. Let's say you are buying something from someone. There are 10 line items into that. And sold to party is you only, right? You are only going to pay. The payment term will be same. How you are going to pay to that company? The payment term like within 10 days, 15 days, right? Customers will be same. The transporting agent, all those things will be same only, but it will be applicable for all the item. It's not only for a 10 item will have different sold to party, 10 will have different sold to party. That is not generally we do. So header or like in, if you see in the SAP, let me open any sales. See when you create a sales order, the T code is VA01. Then you enter your sales order type, you enter your sales area, right? Then you press enter or you can click on continue here. If I click on continue, now whatever I will be doing here, I can add 5, 10, 15 line item, that's fine. But now whatever I'm doing under the sales document type ZOR9 only. Now my ZOR9 is kind of a header data that is applicable across all the line items. Clear? So those kind of information we call it as header data. That is common to for all the line item. It's not specific to particular line item. It's across all the document basically. So what kind of data you can come? The configuration data, as I told, this sales area and all these things. Customer data, as I told you, sold to party, pair, all those things are applicable for all the line items. Sometimes ship to party could be different line item wise also, but generally we call it customer data is also because sold to party it will be common for all the line items. Ship to party can be different. Let's say you have three line items in your sales order. Maybe one line item will be given delivered to some other ship to party. As I told you, let's say any company is running a business and is running business under three places in same city. Sometimes this kind of scenario happens that there are three line items and then those three line items will be delivered to different locations. So that is something we follow sometimes. Clear? And the table is VBAK. So where you will see all those data, whatever you save in the header or the sales document type, I mean sales document, you all the data will go and sit in the VBAK. As I told you, wherever you see this AK at the end, that means it is denoting header. Clear? VBAK means it's a header data. VBAP, P means item data always. SAP follows this nomenclature. Similarly, if you go for LIKP delivery table also same thing. LIKP, P means item. Okay. Sorry, LIKP and LIPS. So LIKP will be header, LIPS will be your item. So mostly K represents header, P represents item. Here, now let's go to item. Item obviously it said how many items you have. Every item will have its own price, its own loading group, its own weight and all. So all this information is relevant only for that particular line item, right? Let's say one material is there that is being sold in kg, the other material could be sold in liter. So that is the material specific or line item data, which is be varying across all the line item. It could be same, it could be different, right? And mostly, generally, what happens, whatever data you maintain in the customer master, that usually goes and sits in the header. And whatever master data you maintain in the material master or in CMIR, these three are material, I mean, these three are master data object, right? Customer master, material master, CMIR. So customer master data generally goes and sits in the header. Material and CMIR data, whatever we maintain, that generally goes and sits in the item. And obviously, some parts of control data and some part of config data will also be applicable for your item. But basically, item wise, each item it could be different. Clear? The table is VBAP. Clear? Any questions so far?
No, this.
Okay, great. Now, schedule line data. See, generally in our day-to-day language also we say, right? Okay, what is the schedule? What is the schedule? Why we are following for that party, or what are the schedule to go to that, go and everything. Everywhere we use this term. Like, what is the schedule? Schedule. Schedule means the date and the planning basically, right? In day-to-day we call it schedule means planning. How, at what date, at what time we are going to do what, right? So similarly in SAP also, schedule means the delivery dates. At which date, how much quantity is confirmed. So delivery scheduling basically. Clear? And that date, I mean, table is VBEP. Okay, these three table at least you should remember for sales order. There are four main table, but at least three you should remember. VBAK for header, VBAP for item, and VBEP for schedule. Yes, and yeah, there are one more what do you call, generic analogy you can remember. And I told you customer master goes and sits in header, CMIR material master goes and sits in the item. Similarly, there are few data that you will be seeing in the header that is mostly controlled by sales document type. That OR9 we took, right, in our case. So that OR9 configuration, whatever we will have, that will mostly impact your header. Similarly, item control, item level control, we maintain generally in item category. You will see all this. Okay, what is item category and what are the controls available in this? Sometimes we call it control, sometimes we call it configuration. What are the configurations available in item category? Or sometimes we say what are the controls available in item category. That kind of term we generally use. Back it for. Now, let me go to one sales order and let me try to show you. Now you can see all this data in the table level. Yeah. So when you open any sales order, or basically anything like inquiry, quotation, contract, all this transaction will open with a similar kind of a screen. But let's talk about sales order specifically now. So this is my overview screen. When you just open the VA03, you will land it here. If you want to go to header, you have to click on this icon, or you can go via the menu also. Go to header, and then you have all your tabs basically. Same tabs you will see if you click here. Basically, same tabs will be there. So it's up to you how you want to go to the header. Clear? So this is my overview screen. To see the header level data, I need to go to header. You see display header detail. If I click here, I can see all the header related information. Who created the document? It is also very, I mean, it's a very kind of, what do you call it? It's a document specific. It's not item, right? Any sales order who created, it's me or any ID. So that is also part of your header. The sales area, the document type, right? The document currencies, all these are header. You see, you can see all these data here. The shipping condition. If you go to billing, you see payment terms, it also come payment term, income terms, right? The company code. All these are part of your header. In the table level, if you want to see all this information, you need to go to VBAK. What is the table? I mean, to take out to open a table.
SC16M.
SE16N VBAK. What are the primary keys here in VBAK?
Custom.
Sorry, what is the primary key in VBAK?
Sales document.
Sales document. Only one field because it's a header. So you pass, let's say, for I want to see for only my own, I mean, for this 5816 only, I'll pass it 5816. I execute it, and then you can see all the header related information here. You can double click here also. It will open in this tabular form or a column wise actually. Here you will see the description, the values, and these are the technical name. As I told you, the developer will always look for your technical names basically. These all are generic descriptions basically that we use in day to day for our understanding. But whenever you are dealing with any developer, any kind of development work, then you need to mention these technical names. And you can see all these header related information comes and sits here. Clear? Similarly, item wise, if you have to go, let me copy this document. So go to VBAP. See, there are two ways to do copy paste in SAP actually. You see this option, quick cut and paste, right? It's not part of SD, but as a generic you should know the tips and tricks actually. So when you see this dot is coming, that means this is active. Quick cut and paste. So what will happen if I just drag my cursor like this? It is copied. If I drag my cursor like this, it is copied. Let's see, I dragged here, right? I'm not clicked. I'm not clicking anything in my keyboard. I'm just dragging via mouse only. With my mouse, I'm doing this. And how can I paste? If I right click it, it will be pasting that value whatever I copied last. Because when you are working with SAP, many times you need to copy and paste all this information like sales order number or material number, all those things, right? So this is one way. Quick cut and paste basically. It says cut and paste, but basically it does copy paste. Clear? There is one more way. You select it and then you can type Control C also. That will also work. But I feel it more convenient because I don't have to click on Control C and Control V. I simply drag this mouse, it copies, and wherever I want to paste it, I just click there and I'll just do right click. It will paste whatever I copied last. Clear? Now let's say I want to see the item level data. Since in our case we have only one, that's fine. I just put the sales order number and I will execute. And I can see all the item related information. What was the material group, item category, PCS unit of measure, all this information which are relevant for item, we can see in the item level. Here and net value and all you see here. Now schedule line data goes and sits in VBEP. Let's go to VBEP. Let's put the same sales order. Also in SAP when you type this backslash, right? Backspace is there in your keyboard, right? When you type it, system shows the last value which you have used actually. So it also helps sometimes. You don't need to copy paste because you just press the backspace and system will pop up all the what you call from the history. It pop up all those information which you have used last. So from here itself you can select directly. Now if I execute it, you see delivery date, plant delivery date, all these things, loading date, these all are part of your schedule. And how can you see in your sales order? This I am into the header. I'll go back to go to item. I'll double click here, or I can go to this menu also, go to and item. This also I can do. If I just double click, I go to my item. This is the schedule line data. Okay, and the schedule line also comes under your item basically because scheduling for any material is relevant to a particular line item only, right? Scheduling for what? For a material, for a particular line item. When this item is going to be delivered, what? How much quantity or which date? That is also relevant for a line item only. So schedule line also you can say. It's a sub part of your item data basically. Yeah. Now, sorry. Yeah, now as you can see, we are into the item data. You can read this, right? Display sales document and all these things. You can read it, right? Anyone? Hello? You can read.
Yeah,
You can
Deepak.
read this, right? Because I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that pop-up appearing here since I'm recording my session also. So I have a pop-up here. You can read this completely, right?
Yes, yes.
Without any obstacles.
Discussed.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yes.
So you see all these informations. Most of the things are coming. You see material group, material price group. All these things comes from your material master. Material entered. Okay. The pieces and how much piece or the quantity. If you go to shipping tab, you will see the plant, the net weight, gross weight things. You see all these data we maintain in material master basically. So not all the data at the item comes from material, but if you say like this, you see there are two ways to say. All or most of the item what I see in the sales document comes from your material master is not that appropriate. Rather, we would say most of the data that we maintain in the material master that goes and sits in the sales document item. Similarly, most of the master data that we maintain in the customer master that usually goes and sits in the header. Yeah. Now for schedule line data, you need to come here. In this item level, you have to come on the sales schedule line view. And then you can see at a higher level, you can see, okay, this much, this is my delivery date, and this is my confirmed quantity. If you click on this procurement, you see all your information at what date goods issue will happen, what date loading will happen, at what date material will be available, at what date transportation planning date will be happening. So these all are dates basically, right? So these all are nothing but your schedule. Clear? So all these three we call it a schedule line data. Yeah, in the schedule line you can see it. And as I told you, you can go, you can see in the VBEP. Yeah, similarly, like we see all the tables, similarly here also we can see the schedule line data as well. Clear? Since we have only one line item on that is confirmed on the 4th of May actually, so we are only seeing one line item. If there are multiple ways, sometimes what will happen, let's say you are ordering 100 quantity. Okay, just assume here we have 100 quantity and then 4th of May we don't have 100 quantity. Let's say I have only 50 pieces. So there will be two line items here. We are into sales document, right? We are into sales item level 10. Then again we can have multiple line items here that we call it schedule line item number. Clear? First we are into sales document, then which item we are talking about, and then the planning of that particular item. That could be happen on 4 days. Let's say 100 pieces, and today I have only 50 pieces. And let's say 30 of May I will get the other 50 pieces. So there will be two line item, 35, and then you will see another 50 quantity confirmed there. Yeah, and that's why if you go to VBEP, see there are three primary keys. First sales document, then as I told which sales item you are talking, and then what is the scheduling. There could be multiple scheduling, not only one date you will get full quantity. Sometimes that could happen that there are 10 pieces and you will get 10 pieces on a different date. The confirmation will happen on a different date. So that time your schedule line will be 10. Clear? Since we have only one confirmation date, that's why we see only one. Execute it. So we see only schedule line category or like schedule line number 1 only. If there are 10, it will use it 10 entries. 5816 item will be 10 only, but this will increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Clear? Any questions so far? And also, since we are talking about the schedule line, this is your schedule line category. You can see in the item level, if you go to schedule line tab, you will see the schedule line category. This is your item category. Okay, we'll discuss all this from where all this comes and how we can control all this. We'll discuss. Uh, yeah, now there are, as I told you, generally we say sales document means every document we cover, like inquiry, quotation, okay, order, that could be contract, that could be credit memo also. So these are few, what do you call it, document type, a standard document type. As I told you, SAP always gives a standard document type. It's up to you. Like we are using ZOR9, right? In my case, I'm using this ZOR9. If I go to header and if I go to sales tab, I can see my sales document type and sales area and who, what was the date which is created and who created. Generally, we are interested in when you will do when you are working day to day. This all information you will need to see. So see, I am using ZOR9. Instead of ZOR9, I could use OR also any document type I can use. But as I told you, it's not recommended to use the SAP standard document type. It's always better to copy that standard document type and then you can control whatever you want to change. Because if you are changing with the standard itself, it's very difficult to troubleshoot later if you're into some problem or if you're into some bug. It's very difficult to know what was there earlier, right? It's always recommended SAP standard practice that you don't use the standard one, you copy, you create your own document type, and then whatever changes you want to do, you can do as per your requirement, as per the business need, you can change it. So as I said, these are few document type that you need to remember. Inquiry is IN, quotation is QT. The T codes are different. You see, for inquiry we have VA11, for quotation we have VA21, for order we are using VA01. That's what we are using now. The rush order is also order only. Cash sale is also orders. That's why you see do means the same, what do you call, same T code actually will work. Credit memo, debit memo also is part of your sales order. When you raise a credit memo, there are two documents basically comes into picture. One is order, one is invoice. Okay. So when you say credit memo request, that means we are talking about the order part. If you simply say credit memo, that means the invoice of this credit memo request. Clear? Any idea what is this credit memo, debit memo, and why we use it?
A sales return credit note, purchase return debit note.
Right. Or let's say you sold some item to some of the customer, to any of their customer, and later you found when everything happened, invoice happened, you received the payment and everything. Later you notice that okay, I have undercharged the customer. Instead of 100, I took the money at the rate of 80 rupee. Right? That could very much happen in the real world, right? Also, it could be different. It could be vice versa also. Let instead of 100, you have charged the customer 120. And later you realize, oh, instead of 100, I charged that customer 120 and customer has paid me also. Then what you will do, you will raise this credit memo, debit memo. Debit memo will work similar to your invoice in nature actually. In nature means when you create an invoice, who is going to pay you? When you create a normal invoice, who is going to pay? You or the customer? Customer. So similarly,
customer.
credit memo is also, I said, it works as a similar way of invoice only. So when the credit debit memo is raised, that means you are going to get some money from customer. That means the customer was undercharged. And when it's overcharged, it's the reverse way. You want to return some money to the customer, that you will, then you will go for credit memo. Okay. And when you go for this credit memo, debit memo, basically, when there is only money transaction needs to be settled. Clear? There is another thing. You see, return order is also there. RE. But when we go for return and when we go for debit or credit, actually, whenever the goods movement is supposed to happen, let's say I sold something to someone and the material is damaged, or let's say I delivered the wrong material due to my shipping and some miscommunication and all, my loader or the person who was loading by mistake he loaded some other material and I need to take that material back to my stock. Basically, whenever the goods movement is going to happen, I will go for my return. And whenever there is no goods movement, only money has to be settled. The financial settlement is required. I'll go for my credit memo, debit memo. Clear? Now, uh, there are two more documents actually. This is VA11 inquiry. Then we have quotation, VA21. We have two more documents prior to VA01, that we call it contract. Okay, and there is schedule and agreement, that is VA31. Let me add it here itself. Okay. I'm not changing the number and I'm just keeping it as it is. The inquiry quotation. Uh, then agreement, and then we have contracts. The T code will be VA31. The T code will be VA41. Okay. When I say VA41, that means it's a for creation. So what will be for change? For contract change, what T code you will use? VA41 is for contract creation. What will be the T code for contract change? 42. Correct.
42.
So it follows everywhere actually for all these things. Now, these four documents that you see here, inquiry, quotation, scheduling agreement, and contract. These four documents we call it as a pre-sales document. Clear? You can have the system configured to create all this pre-sales, or you can directly create from your order also. It's up to you, or it's up to the business requirement how they want to go ahead. So what is inquiry? When you go to any shop, right, you simply ask, right, what is the feature, what is the price in real world. That what exactly you are doing. You're just we're doing inquiry for that material, right? So that we call it SAP, we call it a document. We can create a document if you want. Why we create it? Let's say I have launched some new product into the market, and I want to see how the response is, that I mean how the say, market is responding to my what do you call, to that product. How many inquiries came and how many inquiry got converted to my actual order, or how many customers simply inquired and then they left. Why I need this information? Basically, I need to analyze. Let's say if I there are 10 customer came for inquiry and all those inquiry converted to my order. That means my product is really doing really great. But let's say 100 customer came for my inquiry and only one customer bought. That means something is wrong. When people are doing inquiry, they are not satisfying. Maybe the price is not good, maybe the feature is not good, right? So for that purpose, sometimes the business need to collect that information as well. So then we go for this pre-sales document. Inquiry, as I said, VA11 you will use. The standard document type is IN. You can use your own document type also, that's fine. Then there is the quotation. Quotation, mostly you will not see the schedule document created, VA31. Generally, if people are using this pre-sales also, that time I have seen people using VA11, that is inquiry, VA21 quotation, and then they were creating contract, and then directly they were creating sales order. Clear? But you should remember, if someone asks you what are the pre-sales, then it will tell all these four documents. Quotation, you can say from quotation, the legal, it's a kind of a legal document. Basically, inquiry is not your legal document. You are just inquiring. But when the quotation is created in the SAP or in the real world also, it's something we can call it as a legal document. In this quotation, contract, sales order, all these are legal documents basically. Quotation is something. Let's say you inquired something, what is the price, what is the feature, then the customer said, okay, this is the price and all. Then you say, can you give me some discount and all? Then the customer says, okay, this is the final price I can give. In the real world, this happens, right? So similarly, in SAP also, quotation is something that customer quote you, okay, up to this much price I can give. That is, we call it a quotation. Contract means something is final now. Okay, I made a contract, okay, I'll buy this material 10 pieces today or 20 pieces after 20 days. That kind of agreement, if it happens, it's a contract. Schedule agreement means at what date you are going to deliver me what, how much quantity. If that also is going to be finalized beforehand, that document, that information we capture in a schedule agreement. Right? Let's say there is a need of I need some certain material every day. I mean every month, 100 pieces, and it's a routine. What do you call it? I will require it for a longer period. Then I need to do some sort of scheduling agreement also, right? In real world also, you ask them, okay, every month on 10th of May or 10th of every month, I need 100 pieces. So that we call it schedule agreement. We have agreed to some scheduling dates and all, right? So that information we capture in scheduling agreement. Then contracts, VA41. Again, I think this is also a legal document. And post that, your actual sales order or actual sales activity begins. So these four pre-sales document, and you can have it, or in our case also, if you see, we are not creating anything inquiry, quotation, schedule agreement, contract, right? We are directly creating sales order. Now, when you create an inquiry, or let's say I have decided to use the pre-sales document also in my system, my business requires this pre-sales document for any reason. Let's say there could be multiple, as I said, to capture the information, or let's say I want to have some different control. Let's say I will create the inquiry, you and I will create a quotation, then Mohan will do the scheduling, and Kuswant will see the contract, and then the sales order has to be created. So I want that control, that it has to follow that hierarchy before we create a sales order. So I can give access accordingly. The person who is going to create inquiry, I'll give access to VA11 only. That person cannot create my contract, that person cannot create my sales order. Right? So for the controlling purpose also, we sometimes we use this pre-sales document. Also, one more thing is important here. It's not necessary that you have to follow all the four document. You can just create your inquiry, and from inquiry itself you can create the sales order directly. You don't have to come all the way to quotation scheduling contract. From inquiry also you can create order directly. From quotation also you can create order directly. For scheduling also you can create order. From contract also you can create order. It's not mandatory that if you're using pre-sales you have to use all four. Yeah. And yeah. Uh, uh, okay. Few things just notice here. In GUI, I will be using VA01 for order, right? For credit memo also I will be using same T code, right? Let's say I go to VA01 here. VA01. What was the document type it said? For credit memo, debit memo, CR and DR, right? You see, credit memo request, and where is DR? You see, debit memo request, credit memo debit. All those information I can see in VA01 only. But if I go to Fury, there is another app actually. Okay, what was the T code? EU. Yeah, let me log into Fury once. So now I'm using Fury and I've gone to the browser. I have given that link. So whenever you're using Fury, you need this link basically. Okay. Now you see all these apps. Now let's say I want to create sales order. So here you can search it. If you don't, the scrolling also you can find your app if you remember. If you don't remember, you can just search it here. You can see search in app. Let's say I'm trying to create an order. Let's say I also use very less actually this Fury. I really don't like this. Let's see.
Deepak, is there a T code for this screen?
Not T code. If you have this link, you don't need this T code. You can simply come to browser and you can use. But if you want to, you are using like if let's say you are using this GUI, you have the access and all. You can use this T code. It will navigate you to the browser. You can note it down maybe if you want.
Well, Like what is it? You
Let me ping in the chat. Okay, it will not copy actually. We just note it down. I cannot copy. I mean, this copy paste will not work. If I copy in this computer, I cannot paste it here. Let's see. I don't think it will work.
in the WhatsApp you can ping people like
No, it's not working. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me do one thing. Yeah, I pinged you in that WhatsApp group. Okay. Now, uh, sales order is not coming. I believe it's managed sales order. Yeah, you see, managed sales order is there. Okay, so this is how it is confusing actually. Sometimes some app you will say create debit memo. Okay, but sometimes you'll say manage create memo. I mean, not for create memo. Obviously, it will be sales order only. So this is how this query is confusing actually. It's not T code. If you don't remember, you have to just type it like this. You have to search it and then you find it. Let me go to manage sales order. So manage means it covers in what do you call this creation and change everything you can do. You see create. If I click on this create, now if I click on this Fury, as I said, it's very changing environment actually. It's changing time to time. SAP is providing updates. Earlier there was no this. Earlier when you go to this what do you call manage sales order, this option was not there. Only this option was there. Okay, let me just duplicate it. As I told you, if you click on this VH01, that means it will open in Fury only, but the look and feel will be more of a GUI method only. You see, I see this GUI kind of a screen. When you go for this create sales order, Fury basically, it will take you to the pure Fury version, pure Fury look and feel it will give you. Also, I just wanted to show you. Let me see. If you notice here, I don't see the create name of document type here, right? If you go to my GUI, VA01, just notice how many entries I'm getting here. How many entries document type I can see in VA01? 141, right? But if I go to Fury, I can see only 73 entries. Because in Fury, we have a different app. So create name or debit name will not appear here. So in GUI, it's the same T code VA01, but if you go to Fury, you have a different app. So then you need to remember the app for create name or debit memo also. How you will find it again? You type it here. If you don't remember, just type credit and then click on search. It will basically give you all the apps which is relating to credit, and then you can find your own apps what exactly you want to use. Similar app it will show you, and then from there you can pick up your own app which is relevant for you. If you type here also, it will give you some suggestion. You see, if I give just simply credit, uh, see there are total 68 apps which contains the term credit. Since we are talking about credit memo, let me type memo as well. You see, create now payment request, display freight, create memo. All these are different apps. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that when you go for VA01, you may get all the information, all the document type, whether it's a return order, whether it's a credit memo, whether it's a debit memo. But if you go to Fury, you may find few less document type because when you go to Fury, the different app is there for different document. So the document type will appear in the different app itself. So don't get confused. Yes. Now, yeah, these things we have covered. I just give you a brief idea why we use all this document. Sales order. I mean, these are all pre-sales. This is my pure sales order, the normal sales order that we use. Rush order is also one of the document type. See all these rush order, cash order, return order, these all are different type of sale basically. Sales process we call it. Okay, in SAP we call it different sales process. Clear? Then as I said, credit memo will be there, debit memo was there, invoice collecting request free of charge. Sometimes you some item you want to give to your customer free of charge for a sample, right? For sampling purpose you want to give it to customer, that for that time you don't charge it, right? You don't ask your customer to pay for that sample, then you go for free of charge. Subsequent delivery free of charge, when you have delivered something to your customer and something, let's say in transit itself it got damaged or by mistake you sent the wrong material, then it's up to you, right? It's your fault that you have delivered the wrong material. So that time you go for subsequent delivery free of charge. That means there is already delivery happened. On top of that, you're going to deliver something else. Maybe you will return the good and then you will return it. I mean, then you will deliver. But there is already delivery happened for that delivery. I mean, then you are going to deliver it. So then you go for subsequent delivery again. So for this delivery, you will not charge your customer because it was your fault. From the company, it has happened. Clear? Consignment is also one of the process. We'll discuss it later. Not how. Consignment. This all process belongs to one sales process only. Consignment fill up, issue, return and pick. And this contract, yeah, contract, wait, yeah. See, when I said contract is some sort of agreement, you can say in layman language. So when you do a contract can be of two type. This also sometimes this interview people will ask you how many types of contracts we have in SAP. Then you have to say two. One is value contract and one is quantity contract. As the name suggests, value means you are going to have some sort of agreement between you and the company. I'll buy this worth of good. Let's say 10 lakh amount of good. Then it's a value contract. Quantity contract means in terms of quantity, if you have some agreement, let's say 100 pieces I'll buy or 200 pieces I will buy. Then you're talking in terms of quantity. So that we call it a quantity contract. Clear? And mm, okay, let's move. Okay, wait, let me explain. I don't know whether this will come again or not. Let me explain a little bit of here also. Okay, this cash sale and rush sale, these both look very similar. Cash sale is something that when you go to any Reliance Fresh or any grocery market, that we call it a cash sale. Maybe you will be paying via credit card also, that's fine, but that kind of process we call it cash sale. Cash sale, you go to store, you saw that good, you pick it, you pay it, and then you leave. There is no availability kind of question, right? Because you see the stock, you see the goods right in front of you, then only you pick it. So that we call it cash. Rush order is also similar kind of process, but what will happen in the rush order? You will create a order, but the delivery will be happening in the backend automatically. A delivery document will be created, but that is just for your logistic purpose. It will be created, not for actual delivery scheduling and all. It will not be there. Clear? For consignment, these are, as I said, these four belongs to your consignment. Consignment means, let's say, this process generally is being used in some sort of cement industry, mostly I've seen. Let's say any construction site, some construction is happening. So they will be requiring cement packets, right? So they will not ask you time to deliver. It's not convenient. Let's say today they need 50 pieces, 50 packet. The next day they need 10 packet. So you cannot deliver daily because it's not convenient. It's not what do you call economically also good also that you deliver 10 packet or 5 packet like this. So in this kind of process, what we do in bulk, we dump our stock to the customer's location itself. Let's say 1,000 packet I dumped at the customer location. That customer has not paid me for that 1,000 packet. I'm still the owner of that thousand whatever 1,000 packet of cement, or the company is still owning that. Ownership is still under the company's name, though it's lying in the customer's location or consignee location. You can also sometimes you call it consignee location also. So that means you are just filling up that stock. That process we call it fill up. You have just sent the some 1,000 packets of cement from your company or from your plant to that customer's location. Customer has not paid you. Whenever the customer, let's say as I told you, let's say today customer decided, okay, I need some 20 packets of cement. They will take 20 pieces. When they take the 20 pieces, they will, since SAP, you have to create a consignment issue for that 20 pieces. And then customer is going to do the billing. Since we are talking about the sales document, so that's why billing and all it has not shown here. It's just talking in terms of order only. Clear? Fill up means you dump your stock to the consignee location or the customer location. When they use it, consignment issue will happen. Similarly, let's say they are also having a big plant. They decided to use 20 packet. Some issue happened. I mean, they do that consignment issue for 20 packet, and later that cement was damaged actually. Later it was very bad quality, and they decided, no, no, I don't want this. I will return it to that stock. I don't want to use that. Then a return will happen for the consignment. Pickup is just opposite of what we are doing in the fill up. Fill up means we move the stock from our company or our plant premises to the customer's location. Pick up when you take it back from the customer consignee location to your company. That we call it consignment pickup. Yeah, these are all document types: CF, CI, CONR, CP. Okay. And you see value contract, quantity contract we have, and okay, schedule agreement was here. It was mentioned actually VA31. We already mentioned here. That's fine. Since we wanted to go with the flow, 11, 21, 31, 41. I mentioned here, but yeah, anyway, it's here also. Any questions so far? Anyone?
No.
Now it is giving some error that you may encounter when you create. Let's say, yeah, you have given whether always structure. You can go through it, the document since you have, you can go through all of you error that may come. Since we have all the data ready, we are not encountering all this in error actually. We'll cover all this, don't worry, once we cover all this part, we'll cover all this. VK11 is the condition record, creation of condition record for the price condition or price master data that we will cover later. As of now, we have covered three: material, customer, and CMIR. Okay. These all are few errors that it's not mandatory that you will get it. It's not necessary. Maybe if you have everything configured properly, you will not get all this error actually. But it has given few things actually. Okay. Now, when you have created the sales order, what is the next step? When you go to any shop, you did your inquiry. What is the feature of that? Let's say AC, you have went to buy an AC. You went and then you inquired and the deal happened. Okay, you said, okay, I want this AC. That time your sales order is created. Now, what is the next step? The delivery will happen, right? So in SAP, we create a delivery with VL01N or VL01 also it will work. Since it has N, that means VL01 is also available. But the looks and feel, the fields are slightly here and there. That's it. Nothing much. So it's always, as I said, it's always recommended to go with N actually. Why to use the older version? Okay. Now, when you create a delivery, delivery can be created via two method actually. Without a reference of a sales order or with a reference of sales order. Let's say it's a free of charge delivery. You are giving sample. Okay. If let's say one packet of biscuit I'm giving you as a sample, I will not charge you that price. So I will not create a sales order. But that one packet of biscuit has gone from my plant, right? That stock has to be reduced. Let's say today I gave 100 samples. So I need to keep a track of that stock also, right? Okay, 100 packets I've given as a free sample. So delivery is required to keep that stock information in my system. But there will be no sales order. Directly we will create a delivery. We'll see all this, how we can create delivery without reference of sales order and all. Similarly, when you create a sales order, let me go to sales order screen. You see, okay. You see, there is icon button here, right? Create with reference. As I told you, maybe you want to create an inquiry and then you want to create a sales order. So then you need to click here. Then you see, it gives you all this information from where you can create. That we call it. This order is being created by taking a reference of any of these. You cannot take two because obviously it follows some hierarchy. If you are creating with respect to inquiry and then you're getting sales order, you need to come to inquiry, you need to put your inquiry number here. What is the advantage if you do like this? The advantage only is when you put some information in inquiry, let's say material quantity, the prices, all those things, it will automatically come to your sales order. Then in sales order, you don't have to enter all those information again. Clear? If you are trying to create a quotation and then you're trying to create a sales order, you will create a quotation in VA21 and that quotation number you will give it here and then you create it. It's not that easy. Obviously, some copy control is also required whether this document will get copied into this document type or not. Because when you create a quotation, obviously there will be some document type that you will be going to use, QT or anything. Now, whether copy control is available in the QT to ZOR or 9 is also has to be there in the backend. Then only you can copy. It's not like you can simply put anything and then you copy. It's not that easy. Now, order to order also sometimes we copy. That means we will create something with VA01. And then again we will create VA01 by taking the reference of the previous document. Okay, in one of my company, I have seen these people using this thing. They were used to get two documents in VA01. One they used to call it a sales order, then the next document they used to call it delivery order. And obviously, since there are two document types are different. Yeah, we want to send that. Yeah, as I told you, when you create a quotation, there will be some document type, and then you need to maintain that copy control also. We'll see all this. We'll create one inquiry, quotation, all this we will create. Don't worry. We'll see all this how we maintain this copy control and what are the configuration that we have in the copy control and all that. All we will see. Don't worry. Okay. Hold on. What else we have? It's just giving you overview. What are the T codes and how can you see all the document that all we create. So delivery is created. Then you do the billing. That we call it billing, or you create an invoice, or in sometimes day-to-day language we call it memo also, right? What is where is the memo? But in SAP, whenever you use this memo, that means you are talking about the credit memo or debit memo. So in terms of SAP, we always call invoice or billing. Clear? The T code is VF01.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah, let's stop here only because this will require some good time. Anyway, the time is over now. So let's stop here. We'll start from the sales process tomorrow. So any questions so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Deepak.
Yeah.
No.
Today's session was a bit boring because we are not doing any config. But yeah, from tomorrow or maybe after a couple of days, they will be moving into the config part and then it will be interesting for you people. Okay, but before we move to the config part, you need to have some background. So for that purpose, we need to go through it. We cannot directly jump to the config part, and you will not